ladies and gentlemen. It is, well, quite late. It's not 10 a.m. as we... What a smile there.
I know it.
It's 10:38. We are approximately 38 minutes late. Approximately then says the exact same minutes. Well done, Graham. Nice one. As you can see, my name on screen, for those of you watching on the video service, is Graham Day. Graham_Day on Twitter. And I'm joined by We've Got Pepino, or the Bib, the Bibarino, the Booby, the Bibby. Morning, Bib.
Good morning.
Good morning. So we are very late today, and we understand that because... we know that. We understand. And that is because... Well, a couple of things. I mean...
Friday, innit?
It's Friday. It's Friday. Low-key purchasing Christmas presents. But also, we've been trying to rustle up some news for you. As you guys will know, particularly if you're in America, yesterday was Thanksgiving, and being a news podcast that focuses on the daily news, then, you know, when it's Thanksgiving, not very much happens in the world of video games news. But let me give you a little bit more information on the news podcast. If you guys are new here, this is Ice Cream Uploads. And in true Ice Cream fashion, we've named our podcast The Scoop. Did it?
It's great. Such a good name.
And that is because we bring you a scoop of the news from the games industry and beyond. We give you our thoughts on the best and the biggest stories, or just the stories that are available. Every single story that we make one story into 5. And we bring you our thoughts and impressions on those every single weekday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 10 a.m. or 10:38 on Ice Cream Uploads. That's twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. We then turn this live show into an on-demand podcast on YouTube roughly an hour after the show is finished, and then a little bit later on the day as well. Each and every single weekday, we put it out on 4 audio podcast services. They are iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Yeah.
So if you want to get all of the video, you can get it on Twitch and YouTube. If you want all of the podcast audio, well, just check out our socials a little bit later on today. If you want to know what our socials are, !socials in the chat on Twitch, or just search for Ice Cream Uploads. It's the same name everywhere. Mm-hmm. But if you are in the chat, let us know. Obviously, please feel free to drop any messages of good mornings, any thoughts on the news that we're talking about in the chat. We want to know if you are here. Good evening, and what a lovely morning, says Number One Pirate. So like Pirate has just done, feel free to get involved with the chat, because the guys watching on YouTube and the guys listening on the podcast services later on, the audio versions, don't get a chance to have that discussion, so it's on you guys. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what I'm going to do right now is throw it to Bibby so he can fill while I just go and retweet our Go Live tweet from twitter.com/Ice Cream Uploads.
Good morning, Pirate. I understand you're probably in a very good mood this morning after Mr. Emery has now been chucked out, left out on his arse. But yeah, I'm just going to go over what happened last night. We did the scoop, and then I went live later on in the evening with some Destiny 2 action. First time that I was playing it, and I just want to give a big shout out to the Reaper that was in the chat. He was giving me information about that game that I had absolutely no idea about. He's a guy that's put in like 1,700 hours into the game, so it was just like, if you want to do this, this, and this, you can do this. This is how long it usually takes to do a mission. If you do this one, if you want to do crucibles, which take 10 to 20 minutes, you can go and do that. So it literally gave me like a full breakdown as a noob. I had no idea what I was doing. A full breakdown of what you can actually do in the game, how long it takes to do each thing, which I need to go back through the stream and start writing it down, because otherwise I've got absolutely no chance. But big shout out to that guy for staying with me for about 3 hours while I went through the game. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's really, really good. It doesn't feel like anything like the Destiny 1 game that I played, bearing in mind it was about 8 years ago. Or whenever Destiny 1 first came out.
I thought it was more like 3 to 4 years ago, but
no, it was. I'm sure I played it on the 360, maybe. Destiny 1
release date.
Oh, okay, release date 9th of September 2014.
Oh,
so I would have been playing that. That would have been around the first time that I got my PS4. To be fair,
5 years ago. Damn.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a hell of a long time ago that I played that, and the game, it's so much fun. As soon as you get a weapon like the shotgun, you can just melt people with that straight away. But I went into Crucible because I think he said it was Crucible. I can't remember. Basically, it was the PvP element of it. So
PvP elephant?
PvP element of it. So it's like 5v5, capture the flag kind of thing. But after each game, depending on how well you do, you get good loot dropped, or you get loot dropped. It's good for me because it's the first loots that I'm getting dropped, so it's giving me a little bit of a boost. So it's giving me a slight boost, but I ended up getting this pulse rifle, and I'm playing it like I used to play Halo, and it's serving me well because I'm not aiming down the sights for any of my guns now. I'm literally just firing from the hip, which does the exact same thing, really. It's not as if, like, it's going all over the gaff, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait. I will be streaming it again tonight. Mrs. Bibby's gone out on the piss again down to London.
Ooh.
So I will be streaming as soon as I get home again with some more Destiny 2 action.
Well, I am unsupervised tonight, so depending on what the plan is for me and the Clominator, I may jump on Mrs. Danielle Day.
You're going to jump on Miss Danielle Day?
Well, maybe. If she plays the cards right. No, she's out. She has abandoned us. So we're fending for ourselves now. She's Christmas doing. So me and the Clominator are in the house. No doubt, I'm thinking, oh, do you know what? We'll do something cool, parent-ish, daddy, daughter. But Chloe's at the age where it's like, yeah, in a bit, Dad, I'm going to do TikToks. So nice, lovely, fun times. So I may jump on. That said, I only have about 18% of the game downloaded.
Oh yeah,
so
I ain't downloading anytime soon.
My internet, I will probably be on just in time for Destiny 6.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had to leave it downloading the night before. It was a whopping like 90 gig download, and the internet speeds around my gaff aren't that great. They're usually around about 60. However, it just goes up and down constantly, especially when I'm streaming.
Yeah, well, that's it. I was watching the United game. I didn't want to fucking that to be buffering all night. Not only that, it interferes with Sky because we've got Sky Q and it's all interwebbed. It kills anything we do there. And as I've been mentioning, anyone that's been listening for the last week, so smashing my way through Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So there's no way I can watch that on Netflix without it looking like you're watching it on Twitch on 160p kind of thing. Yeah. Oh, great! The blue pixel said something to the red one.
What I will say about Destiny though is it's probably the best optimized game I've played on PC. That is constant 60 frames, and I was playing 1080, high graphics, everything. It was smooth as anything. So as soon as I booted into the game and I got through to the first part where all the little gremlin things were, as soon as I started firing the gun, I was like, oh, you know when you just get that little feeling, you're fighting like, yeah, this is pretty tight, it's pretty tight. But yeah, it's brilliant. I can't wait to play it again tonight.
Yeah, I completely missed all of your Destiny segment of the stream. I only tuned in as you were doing 10v10. So that one, I said last night, who are you playing against? So you mentioned, like, I'm not playing against anyone, it's part of the 10v10 league, but are you in a team of 10?
Yeah. So we have about 20 people in the group, which includes people like Spike, Vern, Precision, Dare to DMAC, and then a load of other people as well, Mascolo. So yeah, we're in a group of about another 15 people with us 5, and then we're in a league. There's 4 divisions. We're in Division 2, and we're now second. If we'd have won our second game yesterday, we'd have gone first, but we ended up losing.
You took that very well.
Yeah, I was being infuriated. The thing is, right, and it's been the same with PES for a long time. If people know the exploits of the game, they will exploit the game. So, like the near post corner, constant L1 triangles. As someone who likes to keep the ball on the deck and play around. Play around the back, but play around the midfield, opening it up with little 1-2 passes and stuff like that.
So when you mean as someone that likes to play football, not exploits.
So when you're playing with another 19 players that just want to keep on smacking the ball over the top or doing near post corner glitches, it's fucking boring. There was one point where they got 7 corners in a row because they were just doing near post corner and the goalkeeper was punching it.
And you're saying this is so boring.
It's boring.
I mean, it was boring to watch as well. And that's poor for people that are fans of the game in general. That because you're just seeing exploits sit. Near post corner and it's out. Near post corner and it's out. Near post corner and it's out on the other side. Near post corner from the other side and it's out. And it's just like, for fuck's sake, have some inventive play about your game.
Yeah, because the thing is, every time the ball goes out, your players reset back to their original position. So if I'm having to come from the 18-yard box to try and mark my man at the back post, I have to keep on constantly doing that while he gets on smacking the ball at the first defender.
18-yard box, that's when you're not Dele Alli on the halfway line until they get all the way up.
He's about 6'2", no worries, stick him on the halfway line.
6'2", good at finishing. Yeah, you get back, mate. Yeah, nice one. Sorted, love.
But yeah, I really enjoy playing with them because the lads are a crack, and we have got a pretty decent team this year. The team that I was playing against yesterday had Muka hit in there.
I saw
that. For the second game, mate, he was just ripping us apart. He's so good on the ball.
He just absolutely melted someone one-on-one with the keeper, and then he posted it Yeah.
He's unreal. Like, you can tell the difference between when a pro comes in the game and it's just people who play the game pretty well, and then he comes in and just destroys everyone. But yeah, I love playing in that league. It's just sometimes it just
Yeah, that's the thing with that's the annoying thing with competitive gaming. Even if you start off Screet Sarah 667. Did I say that right? If I did, hello, good morning. Welcome to Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham. This guy is the Bib. There you go. Name's
Good morning.
So yeah, that's the thing with competitive gaming. Like, particularly something that's based on the real world. You think, okay, I know how football works, I know how football plays, and there's all sorts of different ways that different styles and different situations and different formations and different tactics, and you could have the same formation but play it different ways, and physical elements like speed and power, and it all comes into play, but then it all just becomes irrelevant when you just get near post corner, exploit, near post corner, exploit. And I mean, last year's it was near post corner, nut backwards into the box, boom, near post, all that long, like, lofted ball to the far post, that sort of stuff, and you just think, wow, there's no inventiveness. It's literally going through the motions and me trying to stop you going through the motions of a pre-set routine, and it just becomes like...
That's usually why when I stream, I stream games, like, there might be 1,000,001 games that I'm playing at the moment, and I'll stream those ones because that's the ones that I'm enjoying. Like, let's be honest, if we was just to stream PES all the time, our numbers would do all right. We would have a lot more numbers, but we want to play games that actually make us want to continue playing them rather than getting pissed and getting angry.
And having that full selection as well, because, I mean, anyone that plays any game for a long period of time, you will find yourself becoming disheartened with it, because every game will have a meta, and once that meta becomes realised and people start utilising the meta, it just becomes... I mean, in football, it's OP play with through balls or crossing one year, or it might be no crossing, as in we were talking about FIFA, there's no crossing this year, whereas for me in PUBG at the moment, a game I play, ding ding ding,
yeah, I was just about to do it.
For me, I mean, I play a lot of PUBG, you might have heard this, but for me the meta at the moment is, I mean, there's kind of two metas. First of all, play on the Xbox, because if you're playing console crossplay, PlayStation's just, you're at a disadvantage from the off. But then after that, the meta, because of that level of uncertainty, you are getting a lot more camping. Yeah. So now the meta is... I'm in a room behind a door. There may be a guy soon, there may be not, but I will find out, and I'm going to sit here for 6 weeks. But yeah, you start to then get infuriated, and this little thing, because it happens over and over again, it starts to piss you off. Like, you sat there going, "Ah, he's got killed by someone lying down in a field not doing anything." And it's like, well, that's a perfectly viable tactic. But because it happens all the time, it's like, oh, grr.
After I finished streaming yesterday, I went and watched Jamie, because he was streaming some Call of Duty, and it was in the 5v5 mode, and he ended up getting wiped pretty early, and it went down to 1v1, and the person that was on his team was literally just laid down in the roof, just waiting for someone on the map, waiting for the other person to make the first move.
Was that
we could
on
see
Destiny?
No, he was playing COD.
Oh, COD, okay.
Yeah. He would just literally lay on the top of a roof, waiting for someone to make a move and then come through, and I thought, it's just boring. Like, Jamie just going, are you kidding me? Just move. Like, there's 10 seconds left. We need to attack. We need to get the win. But the guy's like, he either didn't know what was going on, or he was just full-time camper.
Either that, or he's playing for KD, and that's it. He's not playing the objective. It's like, yeah, I want to kill 5 people, but only die 4 times.
Yeah, I was just screaming PTO yesterday.
It's like, constantly. You died, mate. You lost. It doesn't matter how many times you died or not, whatever. Also, thank you very much for the follow, Screet Sarah. We don't have our notifications popping up on screen when we're doing the scoop. The scoop is our daily podcast, so we don't have the notifications coming up on screen because we don't want to ruin it for people listening to the audio podcasts later on today and on demand. So thank you very much for that. Was actually me, scored a scissor kick from a corner last year for Team UK. Yeah. Team UK played some good football.
He did. Pirate was dropping people who wouldn't pass the ball. Or pass it, just kept on launching it. He wants to play good football, and that's why I enjoyed playing in them games so much yesterday. Obviously, Pirate plays quite attractive football. He wants to keep the ball on the deck, quick 1-2s, and just play out from the back, much to our sins with the amount of goals that we end up conceding. But that's the kind of football. That's what I expect, because that's what I play in pro clubs with him. For the majority of last year, that's what I expect when I go to do it with other teams. But sometimes not everyone likes that.
No, that's what it's about, though. I mean, if you've got a game that you either want to be passionate about, no, that you are passionate about, or something that you want to play often, you don't want to have it be a game that is just riddled with the meta. It's riddled with 1-2 passes. I mean, that kind of is the meta as well at the moment. So if you're not playing with other people, L1 and X, pass the ball, your player runs on, and then over the top through ball. Hey, we've not seen that coming, have we? But it just becomes monotonous and boring and repetitive, and you just think, I'm playing a game. Am I playing a game purely to win? Purely to win? Is winning my objective? No, winning is the objective of the game, but what are you playing the game for? For fun. Winning gives you the fun. If you take the fun out of winning, you're not getting anything out of the experience. So why do that?
Well, anytime someone comes into the stream that maybe hasn't been here before or knows us too well enough, but when I'm streaming games, first of all, they know that they're not coming for high-end gameplay. That isn't the case. I'm never going to be able to give you top-draw gameplay. However, I just want to make sure that when you're here, you're entertained. For me, being the entertainer is the most important thing of me streaming, rather than it being high-end gameplay. We're going to have a laugh while we're playing. You're probably going to see me lose about a fucking million games. But yeah, if we win, we all win together. It's such a cliche thing to say, but
those of you that may have watched Bibby's streams, he just said that he likes to be the entertainer on stream. I mean, you decide. Just say.
I said when I stream games.
Oh, okay.
Still.
But yeah, it's that's just how it is. That's the way that I see it, and that's the way that I treat when I stream. That's my personality, to go out and entertain. If that comes in the way of me getting wins, that's fine, but that's not my ultimate objective.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm the same. And you'll see, I'll be sat there trying to have a bit of discussion, having a bit of a laugh, bit of banter. I mean, that's my last few PUBG streams, for example. I mentioned PUBG. My last few PUBG streams have turned into kind of discussion streams as I'm essentially just jump into just chatting and talk about either the setup or my stream setup or my lighting setup or my plans for games or whatever. I eventually get to the point where I'm chatting so much with the chat that I can't keep up the gameplay.
Yeah.
So I kind of shelve that a little bit, and the stream a stream kind of demands that from a streamer. You know, when you just stick your face in the air. Quite often I'll just go, actually, I'll catch up with chat in a minute, I'm just going to see this out. Top 10 situation. But yeah, speaking about seeing things out, let's jump into the news. We have a bunch of stories for you today. I mean, you guys can see how dearth the news situation is in the games industry at the moment, because it's Thanksgiving. Everyone's off stuffing their faces with turkey. So we've dug and we've found a few tasty tidbits of information, starting with this one.
Let's see if it works.
Yay!
Results.
There we go.
Result.
So, in true Ice Cream Uploads fashion, it's been a couple of days since we've stuck the boot into Google Stadia, so let's try it again. So obviously, just a bit of a caveat. We mention it every time, and I'm going to keep mentioning it. We don't like to kick Google Stadia. We have a Founders Edition. We invested in the product, and we would love to see it working. But whilst it doesn't, we're obviously not going to hold back on it either. So, Google, I'm not sure that's how Stadia is supposed to work, says Wesley Yin-Poole from Eurogamer. Download to nowhere. One of the big selling points of Stadia, Google's new video game streaming technology, is it eradicates lengthy downloads and updates, the scourge of current console gaming. But for one Stadia game, that's not exactly how it's working. So as you can see there, that image, the tag underneath it says, Google Stadia website leans heavily on one of its best features, no game downloads. So no waiting for game downloads, 60 frames, 4K, HDR, 5.1 surround sound, blah, blah, blah. But big text, no waiting for game downloads. However, Redditor, and what a catchy name this is, 121910.
Do you reckon that's his birthday?
Well,
it couldn't have been, because that means it makes it 80.
He's 9 years old. Although, 9 years old, if he's only playing NBA 2K, that's fine. Redditor 121910 took to the Stadia subreddit to post screenshots of NBA 2K20 downloading a game update on Stadia, which came as something as a surprise, given Stadia games shouldn't be capable of downloading updates at all when they're being played by customers. I had a brief chat with 121910 about what happened. They told me they saw the downloading update screen when they started the game. It only took 1 or 2 minutes to update, they said, and it was the first time it happened since purchasing the game. What was 121910's initial reaction? Mildly infuriating. Nice.
Very polite way of putting it.
Obviously, this isn't supposed to happen on Stadia, and it wasn't long before Stadia's community manager stepped in to call the update a bug and to suggest it won't be long for this world. Thanks for bringing this to our attention, Grace from Google said. This is a bug within the game that's showing an unintended screen. We're working with the developer on this, and I'll report back once there's an update. Then, we're continuing to work diligently with the developer on this matter. We're looking to have another update for you all after the Thanksgiving holiday. In the meantime, NBA 2K will play correctly after a brief update. Thanks for your patience. So what's this bug all about then? I asked tech wizard and digital foundry boss Rich Ledbetter for his educated guess, and he told me it looks like Stadia's NBA 2K20 port is old code. My best guess here would be that the game code on the server is likely out of date, and that there's a mechanism in place within the game to add updates, Ledbetter said. What's weird is why there should be any such mechanism at all. One of the key advantages of cloud gaming systems is that updates are carried out at the server level without ever bothering the user. That's not happening here for some reason, but I'd expect this to be fixed pretty quickly. Let's not overplay this, as 121910 says. The download is a mild irritation. It's been great for me so far, 121910 said of Stadia overall. Haven't really had any issues with the service, but it's yet another embarrassing gaffe for Google when it comes to Stadia's launch, and follows accusations that Google broke promises over Stadia's game performance, as well as its offer of refunds to people who've bought Stadia games that are set to be offered free as part of the Stadia Pro subscription next month. Meanwhile, until NBA 2K20 is sorted, well, you'll have to download an update to nowhere. Wonderful. So you don't have any storage. You are just downloading an update that's not storing on anything. It's just downloading.
It's just streaming a latency bar, like an update bar. It's a weird one. Again, at this point in time, Stadia kind of needs to just roll back and just fall to a place where no one can say anything to them for maybe a month or so, and just kind of like firefight. It's a bit of damage limitations now. You're getting PR people to come out and just try and pull everything together while a lot of people frantically work in the background trying to get this product up to scratch.
It's just. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's not working for them. Maybe the fact that Stadia have gone, well, we done fucked up, guys. Let's just keep quiet. Let's just not make any noise. Let's have no announcements. We'll just do a few discounts on games, and shit, people are upset with that. But we'll just give them refunds, and we'll try keep the focus off us. And then stuff just keeps going, hey, look, a fire! Fuck!
That again, it's all come down to them coming out, dick swinging, saying this is what we're going to have, blah blah blah, day one, yeah, and then everything's just coming to bite them back
4K,
in the ass. Yeah,
60 FPS, no games, your friends can't play, no trophies.
I mean, this is also, I don't know what else we can actually say that's going to be new and relevant to Stadia. It's kind of just we need to keep on giving you updates as to where they are with it, because there's nothing that we haven't said about this product.
I do feel sorry for them though, because that isn't anything to do with Stadia. That is NBA 2K20. They have basically updated, as it said in the article, the guest from Digital Foundry. I can't remember the first name, but Mr. Ledbetter, we'll call him that way, from Digital Foundry, has said that from his assumption is that an old version of the game has been added to the servers, and that has that bug in it. It's basically not matching up, so it's having to download an update on the go so that people can keep playing. But that isn't Google's issue. That is NBA 2K20's issue. In the same way that Destiny. Oh no, yeah, well, actually Destiny is a game because that's a good one to go. Say you were playing Destiny last night, and if there was an issue with the Steam build of it, it would be because Bungie have uploaded a duff version, and it's not Steam's fault, it's Destiny's fault, and we're kind of happy enough with that. But because Stadia hasn't developed into a platform that we're happy with yet, we instantly put the blame on Stadia.
It just seems to be something. It's just another issue on top of all the other issues. So Google probably promised like 5 or 6 things that haven't been successfully implemented for people to be able to use, and this is just another issue on top of that. So regardless of whose fault it is, they're just going to put it down to Stadia's. They're not having a go at NBA. They're not having a go at 2K for that.
Well, why would they? Because well, a couple of things. NBA 2K20 plays perfectly on my PlayStation, and I get downloads and updates there, but I expect it. And NBA 2K20 plays perfectly on my PC because it does. I get downloads and updates, but I expect it. And the reasoning for that is, well, a couple of things. Things are working elsewhere. Don't forget to collect your Steam points, by the way.
I keep on doing it. I keep on tapping it when it comes up.
Yeah.
Look at that, 8K.
Nice. By the way, if you are watching live on Twitch, you see kind of, where's it going to be? It's going to be over in that corner, down in that bottom corner of the screen. We have something.
Nope.
Oh,
there we go.
Kind of down
there.
There is a little thing that pops up. We have enrolled in the Stream Points program. So if you are watching our stream, for every bit of time you watch, it starts to add up behind the scenes, and every now and then you can click the little button and redeem your Stream Points. You can then spend those Stream Points on functions. At the moment, we haven't tinkered with those functions, but if you are watching, keep clicking that to keep building up your Stream Points, because we will start adding some cool little things to the back end, which is what she said of that. So make sure you do it. But yeah, the issues, coming back to it, the issues with the Stadia there is obviously Stadia hasn't proven itself as the platform. So even though the issue might be 2K's fault, the issue. Can you say the issue a few more times, Graham? I think we've not heard that enough. I mean, 2K don't know how Stadia works, so 2K haven't got up to speed with that, and wrapping it all in one big wrapper. The issue. I don't think I'd said it enough. I just wanted to get another one in. The issue. I think the issue is of all the issues, the issue that now I'm taking. It's because that dick swinging mentality that you said. If they'd said, "Look, guys, we've not done this before. There hasn't been an Xbox. There hasn't then been an Xbox 360 and then the Xbox One before we rolled out the Project X Cloud. We don't have that history, and." Because they've come out going, "Fuck you, Xbox, suck dick, PlayStation." No, maybe not to that level, but they've come out and basically put themselves as the market leader. They've committed to delivering the best service out there, and because they haven't said, "Oh, do you know what? Actually, 2K needs to understand how our system works." Oh, actually, you guys need to learn how our system works. Oh, actually, we need to make sure the system works before we roll out trophies. If they'd have said all that stuff, and we've mentioned it so many times again, if they'd have come with less sort of like chip on the shoulder and a bit more like, not cap in hand, like, "We're going to be shit, please give us money," but just be like, "Do you know what? This is the start of something special. Get in on the ground floor, and you'll be chilling in the penthouse when all the newbies are walking through the door in a couple of months' time." Then that would have given them a bit more to go with.
I think the way I think they should have gone about it, and this is purely from a customer's point of view rather than a business one. Rose tinted glasses, I'll have to take them off soon, I think. But what they should have done is, rather than giving this information to people via an AMA, which is where most of the information came from, why you're not getting this, they basically should have just owned up to the mistakes and said, "You aren't getting this because, like this poor Grace woman who's come out and had to do a bit of damage limitation, say thanks for bringing that to our attention, but please understand that this isn't kind of our fault. We'll get the devs to sort it out for you." If they know that these things are issues, just come out in the first place and say, "Look, this is where we stand at the moment." It all comes down to the roadmap thing again. Show the roadmap off. I mean, that's what everyone's going on about every single game. We want to see your roadmap, we want to see your plans, rather than you telling us that it's coming out in 3 months' time and then it gets delayed 6 months. At least we know it's coming out in 3 months' time.
Yeah, I think my assumption, I'm not going off any fact here, just my reading of it, is I think the reason all that came out in an AMA is because they don't know. They genuinely have come at it from this, "We are Google. We know the internet, and we have game stores, so we know it all." And I genuinely think that they've got that history, they've got that background, and they've obviously pulled in some big names from across the games industry to spearhead their campaign, to run Stadia and do all of that. But when you get past that and you get to the people that are actually configuring these systems, you've probably got like network gurus that understand it all, and you've got cloud technology-based legends that know what they're doing in the background, and fine, that's all well and good, but they don't have anyone that's delivered those games services. So the games as a service isn't something that they've delivered on that scale before. So sitting there and going, is trophies coming? And then someone from a tech side is going, "Well, yeah, we've got all the data, we can make that into a thing." So the people that are there communicating it haven't worked in the games industry before. The people programming it haven't worked in the games industry before. So you've got the people that are communicating sat there on an AMA going, Only a week to go. And people are going, yeah, but have you got trophies? And they've gone, oh, and then you know they're sat there on this AMA going, let me check that for you. Chatting to developer Steve, and developer Steve's going, fuck! I mean, we can do it, but it's not there. We'll do it later on. And then he's just thrown it back over to Social Media Grace, and Social Media Grace has gone, no, but it's coming. And it's like, okay, what about, do you know the codes and stuff that were promised for your friends? Like, are we getting those at launch? And she's like, let me just check that for you. Phone's ringing. Sorry. Let me check that for you. So then, like, Social Media Grace has had a chat with, like, Code Distribution
Dave.
Donald. Dave from Code Distribution. And he's gone, oh, I didn't realise that was on me. I thought that was, like, Developer Steve and or Social Media Grace that you were going to start between you. And she's gone, well, yes, but not right now.
Do you reckon they all sat there? What the hell was that?
I don't know. I didn't hear anything.
It's not like something just got thrown at the window. Some left it over, there was shit smear on the window or something. I
didn't hear anything.
But yeah, do you reckon that they just what the? I have no idea how all this works with Google, because like you say, it's Google. They can kind of do what they want, and they just fight until it becomes good, or get rid of it. Do you reckon they just sat there and say, what do you like about games? What do you like about your consoles that you play at home? And we'll just take all the best bits of that, and we'll be able to do it dead quick, and then realise very quickly that they can't do it as quick as they think they can do it.
I reckon that's probably it. They've probably, or they've just gone, okay, what do you like about your consoles and stuff at home? And they've got people that aren't, such a dick phrase, I understand it, I'll work with it, but they aren't gamers. What I mean by that is, like, gamers, not like people that like to play games and play games often, but people that play and understand games industry, the thought processes behind it, and all of that elements. So if you ask someone that has a PlayStation, they've had it since the start, and they play games regularly, what do you like about games? I like to go online, and I can share video clips, maybe, and I can play in parties with my mates and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, nice, we'll get all of that stuff. But then the gamers are going, yeah, but what about my trophy hunting? I want to hit 100%. I want a platinum, or I want whatever, the Xbox version of it, or whatever. I want to be able to do this stuff and that, the hardcore stuff. So once you get past the mainstream, they're focus groups. If it's just an internal thing, or they've done the focus groups, but it's not. It's been picked up and run with by people like Social Media Grace and Code Drop Dave and Developer Steve, and full clarity, we had Developer Steve in the ice cream studio, so that's why he came to mind. Not that our Steve was choppy or anything. I'm just saying, Steve, we love you. Anyway.
Well, that's the thing that it comes down to again, though, isn't it? Like you said, you've got the gamers, and then you've got the gamers, but the people that you need to be worried about are the gamers, because they're the ones that are always going to be the vocal minority. There might not be millions of them out there, like the normal consumers. Like, I wouldn't put me down as being in the gamers, but I'm in the games industry. Same with yourself. I play games, not very good at them, but I like to be around them. We work in esports, we work in social media around video games, so I'll kind of put us in that demographic, but we know what we want from the games. We know how hard it is to be able to do this kind of thing, but you kind of need people who are fully fledged, who've been there, done that before. And if they haven't recruited the people from like the likes of Microsoft or Sony to come in and take this forward for them, rather than just getting someone who used to work in a digital marketing team and say, right, we're going to make a console, this is how we think it should be, would you be able to do this? And the guy's just like, if I say no, I'm probably not going to have a job, so yeah, of course, let's have a swing at it. Anyway, obviously because it's Black Friday, I've found some pretty good deals. Are we going to drop them in the chat for the people that are in there?
I think we should. Whilst you grab the links, I'm just going to quickly jump back through the chat. Gamers Nexus made a point in a review about Stadia offering games as a service. If Google decides to pull the plug, like they do with most of their stuff, that has a low pickup rate, then because you don't have a physical copy, you will lose any game skins and DLC you bought, and there's pretty much nothing you can do. That's a fun fact. Not a fun fact, that's a fact with anything that does GaaS, which is games as a service. Anything that delivers games as a service, same with OnLive. If you purchased any games for OnLive, once those servers are offline, you've bought a digital product that can't be run digitally because you never physically own the IP. It's something, that intellectual property is placed in a number string on a server somewhere, and if that server goes offline, then your number string goes with it. So it's the same. It is. I mean, that's the thing. I think that's kind of moral panic territory, though, when you start talking about that. people always get worried about, I'm going to lose all of my stuff. It was the same way with, do you know your bank? You actually take your £20 note to the cashier and they will put it in the big safe behind them. And then when banks change over to digital, people are like, yeah, but what if someone turns the computer off? It's like, so I think that sort of stuff is always a moral panic. There will always be backups and things so you don't lose them that sort of way, but it's one of those things. I mean, yes, Google could go down at any point and taking all of your games library with it. In the same way that anything you've purchased on PSN or Xbox Live, if Sony suddenly went bust or Xbox Live suddenly went kaput, all of that stuff would go. But obviously the difference is you're not having that conversation because they're established, whereas Google isn't. But it's the same thing with anything. Google lackeys are outside throwing Molotovs, says Ninja Bachelor Party. Good morning. Damage limitation team mobilise. Damage limitation team mobilised. So am I bringing this up on?
I'm just going to drop it in the chat. I'm going to let me find it again. I've just had Mr. Bamba's just sent me another one. However, it's a bit of a faff and probably isn't going to work for everyone, so I'll leave that one off for the time being. But yeah, you can bring this one up on the screen now. It should work. I've just dropped it in the chat as well.
Cute.
So at the moment, Microsoft Xbox One, all digital console with Sea of Thieves, Minecraft and Forza Horizon 3, all for
£99.
delivered. You don't even have to get off your ass to go to the shop to go and get it.
Yeah, that's actually pretty sexy. And it's an Xbox One S as well, so it's not even... I mean, it's not an X, fair enough, but it's still a powerful console.
Yeah. Don't forget, this is the no disc tray one. It's all digital. But 3 good games there as well. Sea of Thieves, I think to buy is still £25. Forza, arguably, still £25. Minecraft is still £20 to buy.
And Sea of Thieves as well is getting a shitload of updates. I mean, it's
for free.
It's not my kind of game, from what I've seen. But in terms of the amount of content and first party support as well, obviously Microsoft, with it being an exclusive, are hugely behind Sea of Thieves. And the same thing with Minecraft. Microsoft own it, so that's going to get shitloads of support. And Forza, obviously first party games, so there is a lot to go at there for £99.
Look at them 2 bangers there as well. So, you can't see them if you drop them down. I'll click on them as well to take them to the next page. So you got Spider-Man PS4, £14 from Argos.
Although I do believe, let me quickly check. I had a look at the PlayStation Store yesterday at their Black Friday sale because it comes up on the dashboard, and Spider-Man is in that, so it might even be cheaper to buy the digital version. It was under £16. I know that because I clicked on that yesterday. Where is it?
See, we're doing the work, so you don't have to.
Oh no, it's not. It's £2 more expensive, but it's $13.99 for Spider-Man. One of the best games of the last few years for a single-player perspective, anyway. Spider-Man $13.99 from Argos. If you don't want the faff of discs, you can buy it digitally. 54% off on PSN at the moment for $15.99, and from one massive single-player game to another.
Absolutely. So God of War PS4 £9.99 at Currys and PC World. I've got a feeling that this is, again, you're able to get this online. You don't have to go to your shop to go and get it. These are extremely hot deals at the moment, and this one is just as good. If you want,
just before we jump to that one, so God of War £9.99 from Currys. Once again, if you don't want to get off your couch and put the discs into a console, that is also on sale on PSN as well, $12.99. So a little bit more expensive than the disc copy, but $12.99 for the digital version.
You got to expect that with digital. It's always going to be more expensive, which is a shame really, because they could have undercut the physical copies by half. Same reason I won't buy any digital copies, because I can't warrant the extra £20 in most cases, especially with fresh games.
I agree.
But this is a hell of a deal. If you're in the market for a PlayStation, an Xbox controller, because you've been playing too much FIFA or Pro Evolution and you're smashing them up on the regular, this Xbox One Black controller plus 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which means that you can play Xbox Games Pass games on your PC as well. I think there is a PC version of that. So,
which one is it that includes Xbox Live?
That's it, Ultimate. So that's like...
So an Xbox One Black controller, 3 months of Xbox Live, 3 months of Xbox Game Pass on your console, and 3 months of Xbox Game Pass. There you go, and gold, yeah. And 3 months of Xbox Game Pass on your PC.
That's it.
For £37.48 delivered on Amazon.
That's a banger of a deal, that.
The thing is, we should absolutely have ad, hashtag spawn, hashtag all the things, because we aren't getting paid for any of this. But
We're
yeah,
just gamers, aren't we? We want you lot to get the best deals, just like we're trying to do. So yeah, I've just dropped that one in the chat for you again. So you got a bit of you got a bit of streamception then. But yeah, I've just dropped that one in the chat for you as well. That is probably going to be one of that and the console is probably going to be deals of the day. If I'm being honest.
Thinking that an Xbox One. With additional controller, plus Forza, plus Sea of Thieves, plus Minecraft, plus 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, plus 3 months of Xbox Live Gold, plus the PC crossover. Even if you don't want the PC stuff, if you have a little one, and I'm particularly saying little one just because of the game selection, thinking Minecraft and Sea of Thieves, obviously Forza's in there as well, but you've got two little ones. 138 quid. You've got all of that. You kitted out for 3 months. That
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're looking at more than that, probably 20 quid extra just to buy the 1S when it's not Black Friday as well. So if you are looking for consoles and stuff for Christmas, if you've had payday recently, which is at the end of the month, a lot of people will have, then today is probably the time you want to do it. I said today, it may continue to Monday because obviously Cyber Monday, but yeah. Bam.
Don't worry, we're going to keep an eye on all the Black Friday deals for you as well as they come in. I will drop a few in there. There's a few other ones. I ended up buying 2 games this morning for my brother for £2 for the both of them. Battlefield 1, which included Battlefield 1943, all the season pass stuff. We got that for 99p, and Gears of War Remastered for 99p on Xbox One. Both of them 99p each. So I got both of them for him. He's now a very happy camper.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on these for you. Just
if you guys see anything, obviously, please feel free to drop it in the chat. We will share, and if it's something that's decent enough for the rest of the guys in the chat, then we'll bring it up on screen as well. So feel free to drop any links like that in chat. Have either of you ever went to a Black Friday at a store? Says Ninja Bachelor Party in the chat. No. And I mean, I have been to stores on Black Friday, but not like the midnight opening stuff and watching people smash faces in for a Blaupunkt TV at Tesco.
You mentioned the Amazon van.
The treasure truck.
Yes.
I had a text message from Treasure Truck this morning because they sent me updates.
I've only ever done one Black Friday event, and it wasn't at like Curry's or PC World or something like that. One of my good friends works at the airport, so they do the staff sales every now and again. So I got to go to where they held the Concorde because that's where they do it underneath.
I've been there. I had a Christmas do there.
Yeah.
I danced underneath the Concorde.
So they do the staff sale there, so I went and got like a load of nice smelly stuff for next to nothing, which was great. But that's the only one I've ever been to. I can't be arsed wrestling with people for a blender. Do you know what I mean?
I just want to add, when you say I danced underneath the Concorde, it sounds like you sat there in a Hugh Hefner sort of like smoking jacket. Let me bring that back down to earth with a thud. There is a cheesy, horrible guy, particularly in the northwest. Said he's horrible. It's right down my alley. Called Lionel Vinyl, which is some old dude that is dressed like someone that 70s throwback, like big mustache, big glasses, 70s suit, kipper tie sort of stuff. And I think he started off as being like a pub night sort of thing, like making people do 70s dance moves, getting everyone in the room up on the feet to do it. So yes, I may have danced underneath the Concorde. It was at a Christmas do when I worked in a company called Appliances Online or AO.com, and within that, Lionel Vinyl had me throwing 70 shapes underneath.
Absolutely, what's better than that?
Yeah, goddamn right. But yes, let's move forward. We will jump into a little bit of news as we jump in. Yeah, that's the one.
Cool.
So, from Black Friday acquisitions into another, as we bring this article up. Once again, sticking with Eurogamer, this is Jon Hicks, and he says, Codemasters acquires Project Cars developer Slightly Mad Studios. Seems like a good match. Sims like a good match.
See what they did there.
Veteran racing developer Codemasters has announced the acquisition of fellow British racing... My God, Sean Connery says hi. I'll start that again. Veteran racing developer Codemasters has announced the acquisition of fellow British racing house Slightly Mad Studios, adding the Project Cars series to its collection of racing brands alongside Dirt, grid, and the official F1 license. Codemasters paid $30 million in cash and stock, according to GamesIndustry.biz. Slightly Mad CEO Ian Bell will remain head of the studio within Codemasters, and Codemasters CEO Frank Sagnier reckoned that more streaming services coming to market and the next generation of games consoles due in 2020 made this the perfect time for expansion. Slightly Mad Studios was founded 10 years ago and has specialised in racing games ever since, developing the 2 Need for Speed Shift games for EA and then its own Project Cars franchise, which has so far yielded 2 games published by Namco. It is currently working on an unannounced Hollywood blockbuster title, which is very probably a Fast and Furious game, it says in the article there. In January, Slightly Mad CEO Ian Bell announced the company was working on its own next-generation console, the Madbox. The company's attempt to trademark the name was later withdrawn, and it has not mentioned the project since. The deal leaves Codemasters owning still more of the UK's racing development talent, following its acquisition of Drive Club, what a game, developer
Absolutely.
Evolution Studios in 2016. Drive Club frontman Paul Rushinsky was one of several people laid off last year following slow sales of its most recent release on Rush. GG Codemasters. I've mentioned before, I used to play a shitload of racing games, be it the Colin McRae rallies, the TOCA touring cars, Drive Clubs, Need for Speeds. I just kind of got to my own personal saturation point with games.
Yeah.
That said, I have before we went on the air, I said Project Cars, what's that? And I clicked on it and I knew exactly what it was. It looks shit hot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it plays like, never played it, and I probably won't ever play it, but from a simulation perspective, the way the game looks is crisp. And Codemasters have obviously got history when it comes to developing games, so definitely a good purchase for us.
Just looking at what else they've got on their books to acquire, and you say another racing brand, but having already Colin McRae, the Dirt series, Grid, another recent game that's come out that's reviewed extremely well, the F1 license, and they're releasing games yearly to a lot of people that enjoy them games as well. Adding this Project Cars to it as well, they've just got. I don't think there's only Need for Speed. I think that's another racing game that's not being put into this list. Oh, and Drive Club as well, but that ends next year.
Forza.
Sorry, yes. So the 4 of the 7 biggest racing game franchises available they've got, and they've also worked on the likes of Need for Speed Shift, which was a phenomenal game, by the way. I absolutely love them ones. But yeah, it's Codemasters, they need to start bringing out LMA managers again. That's the first thing that I want to do. LMA Football Manager games was some of the best footballing manager games known to man. But yeah, getting another one like this, Project Cars, is beautiful to look at. My brother is like a racing game connoisseur. He literally plays every single one that comes out.
See, Project Cars looks like them. I just, I know if I sat there playing it, I'd kind of get into it, but then when I put it down again, I'd be like, I've done it again.
Yeah.
I'm not bothered anymore. But seeing things like F1, not interested in Formula 1 at all. Beyond knowing the likes of being behind Nigel Mansell, and then Jenson Button and Lewis Hamilton, and get behind all the English guys, the British guys that are racing in F1. Beyond that, I'm not really interested. I know some of the big names, as everyone does, because it hits the news and so on, but not bothered. For me, Formula 1 is, and I can summarise it in about a second. So that is Formula 1
400 times.
Yeah, exactly. but the Formula 1 game by Codemasters looks crisp.
Yeah,
I remember. I mean, I played some of it on stream. Actually, I did. Yeah, we did an hour with F1 something or other a couple of years back. Me and Toby playing it on stream. I was shit, but that looked okay. But the very next year, I remember seeing some screenshots, thinking, wow, I only know it's a screenshot because it says it is, and it pointed out, this is actually a real screenshot, and you're looking at it thinking that could have been real. And seeing that for me is amazing, because that is ultimate immersion. And when we were talking about Arcade Club having like a VR setup and sat in it, when you've got real life looking gameplay and you sat VR in a car, you're just like, yeah.
You can just feel the steering wheel and the pedals at your feet and stuff like that. That's a completely different world that you're in right there.
But
they're in extremely good hands as well going into Codemaster. Yeah. They're going to look after him. So
I'm interested. I mean, one thing I am a fan of, despite many people losing interest in it, I'm a big fan of Fast and Furious films. Always have been. I mean, the first one was like an all-time kind of film for me. It ranks up there. So the nostalgia and everything that goes with it, I would like to see a Fast and Furious game. And
Did you play the last one? Fast and Furious game?
No.
Shit.
Yeah, well,
as you can imagine,
usually
my brother loved it, but yeah.
When it's a movie crossover, it usually is. But like, if you've got Slightly Mad Studios that have worked on a Need for Speed game, and you've got Codemasters that have delivered the grids and the dirts and all the rest, and you put that together, then in my mind, what I'm thinking is Fast and Furious game. Just it could be Need for Speed Underground. That's
the only way that they can surely make a Fast and the Furious game, because they can't make it action, surely not, and it'll just be Burnout Paradise, just like screaming down the streets, smashing into cars, because that's essentially what Fast and Furious is, isn't it? It's just a lot of car chases, infiltrate wherever you need to do, get a big wad of money, leave the venue, leave the place, while also having bombs and rockets and tanks flying across motorways into each other,
dragging a big safe around the city attached to a string. Yeah, all right then, because what's going to break first, the string or a bridge? Oh, the bridge has fallen down. But yeah, I mean, give me a Nissan Skyline. Silver with the blue decal, the blue neon ground kit on the bottom of it. Fuck off, spoiler as well. I mean, it doesn't need to be that big, but it is.
I've just seen Ninja's comment there. Destruction Derby was one of the daddies of crashing into each other. Have you seen Wreckfest?
I have.
That looks great. It looks really, really good. It's recently come to console as well. It was on PC for the longest time.
I just want to point out my disappointment at mentioning the words Destruction Derby and talking about something else, because Destruction Derby is the daddy of crashing into each other. Absolutely. Destruction Derby 2. I remember getting the demo for Destruction Derby 2 from one of it was either in the box or it was with a PlayStation mag, but it was kind of like, do you know, like you get like a pinnacle edition of a magazine that everyone buys and everyone has the demo for it, and Destruction Derby 2 was on a demo, and I remember like getting to the point where you've kind of got your car, and then you have like front corners, back corners, and then middle, and then it starts off green and you take some damage and it goes down to like light green to yellow to orange to red, so you've lost a wheel. And I remember like playing Destruction Derby, and they had two versions, which was a big ball where you just trash each other, last car alive wins, and then there was the race, so you had to get around the race, but you could also trash other cars in the process. And I remember like getting to the point where my front of the car, because obviously driving forward you could take all the damage, was red and flashing like, you're gonna die. And then kind of like hitting the point where I'm having to reverse around the racetrack so everything hits the front of the car. Fecking amazing game. It was in the box. There we go, that's the one. Demo 1 with PlayStation, that's the one. David knows we spent ages playing that game.
See Kragos's, and we've got Morning Jess as well.
Morning Jess. I love Project Cars. I just hope they start using their engine over what Codemasters currently use.
That's interesting.
I just thought so you don't like Codemasters engine? Onrush, where's it gone? Chat's moved. Onrush was a freebie on PSN not too long ago. Wasn't too bad, but I didn't like the loot box aspect of it. Okay, loot boxes has instantly turned me off, so let's ignore that exists. I was actually watching the Actrol Vision channel last night, who run the weekly tournaments on PC2, and asked him what he thought, and he shot it down as lies until he saw the news on Twitter.
No, it's definitely not happening. Definitely.
It's happening. Oh, never mind. Blur on the 360 PS3 was a good racing game too. I can't remember Blur.
I don't remember playing Blur either.
I mean,
Streets like a juggle.
Park Life. Yeah, there we go. I've just typed in Blur, and it's come up with Blur band, Blur Park Life, Blur Gorillas, which obviously Damon Albarn is, but Blur.
Did I tell you a story about that? That it only clicked like 4 months ago. That
really?
Yeah, I had no idea. No idea.
I remember Blur now. Yeah, I do remember. Never played it, but yeah, I do remember. Yeah. That was kind of like there was
Gorilla's first tune came out when I was about 13, I think.
What, with the Ed Case remix?
Not Blur. Gorillas.
Yeah, you said Gorillas.
Oh, did I?
With
Sorry.
the Ed Case remix.
Yeah. It was Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
I thought Clint Eastwood came out first, and then they remixed it.
Right, it did.
Sorry.
So it came out, but it was kind of, I'm happy, feeling glad I got sunshine. But then you got the, I'm happy, I'm feeling glad I got sunshine. In a bag, I'm useless, but not for long. My future is coming out, it's coming out, it's coming out, it's coming. Oh, it's exactly what it goes like. You are welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday.
That's going to get copywritten all over YouTube and SoundCloud.
I mean, if it does, I will take that as a compliment. Damon Albarn, eat your heart out, man. And one thing I do want to mention, though, is the article that we had on. It sounds like Slightly Mad Furious is making a Fast and Furious game. Actually, no, I linked through to the Fast and Furious game. It was the original one. Codemasters is acquiring Project Cars dev Slightly Mad Studios. That was written by Jon Hicks, who is the Audience Development Director.
That's the name now.
Audience development? So he
community manager.
He creates people to come into the site.
He's a community manager if ever I'd heard one.
All right, John, calm down. God. Anyway, we will move on, and this. I mean, we have some questionable sources that we reference, but we have some incredibly credible resources that we reference on the Scoop. And when I'm talking this, so we mentioned the likes of VG247, we've used Eurogamer that we've seen already, GameSpots, IGNs, whatever. This is probably the most credible news source we have ever had.
Wesley Yin-Poole, you've got nothing on this guy.
Get out of here! So this is a tweet written by Graham Day on Twitter. Just gonna press this button a second. Graham Day!
Let's see if I can make this bigger. There we go.
So the reason I was humming Graham there, if you listen to the audio podcast, is I was just pushing my nameplate on screen because that is a tweet by me. It's a couple of tweets actually. So the tweet I originally posted said, "GG, better late than never. Any event that partners with some of the biggest brands in the world, especially if it's significant enough to be broadcast on TV, should never be allowed to just pay competing athletes with exposure." That's basically the gist of, if you are holding a competition, if you have people taking part in an esports event, or any event really, it doesn't have to just be esports. It could be real life sports. It could be cosplay, and yeah, cosplay is not necessarily fit under the word athlete, but the theory behind it remains: if you are making money off of something and you have people involved in that, and you're just paying them with the opportunity to be involved, but making money off it yourself, it is shit. It's a really, really bad format. And because the games industry is seen as a desirable industry, so playing games whilst others watch and getting that fame. No, you should be thankful that you got to play games. I mean, I'm sat here with a big wedge of cash flicking through, but you, sir, should be thankful, and it's a shit place to be. So that comes back to something we discussed on Ice Cream Uploads previously, talking about the ePremier League last year. Every single person involved got paid. So Sky put it on TV. They paid to have the rights for it, but then they got advertising around it. They got paid. EA got paid by Sky to put it on TV, and whatever sponsors and stuff, they got paid. Manchester United, Liverpool FC, Brighton, or whoever was involved within the league itself, they had their branding in it. They will have been paid and funded by the EA licenses and stuff. They got paid. The people that were at the events running it, doing all the broadcasts, right down to the cleaners, will have been paid for the time in the event. The people that took part in the event and competed, they got given the opportunity to be representing a club, therefore getting exposure, and didn't get a single penny, which is bullshit. Anyway, so yesterday, the tweet, as you can see if Bibby scrolls up, is now unavailable. It was deleted shortly after I quote tweeted it. So I put GG better late than never. Then followed it up with a response myself saying, "Oh, maybe not then, tweet delete." Luckily, I'd WhatsApped it to We've Got Babinho as its potential content for the Scoop, and here we are on Ice Cream Uploads. So the tweet said, this was from Premier League on Twitter, ePremier League announcement in sirens. This season's hashtag ePremier League will have a prize pool of £40,000. It's not very much, but live in the UK and want to represent your club, Register now and follow the link that no longer exists. And I actually did follow the link. It takes you through to a page, and the page has absolutely zero mention of prize money anywhere on it. It's like the ePremier League website, and nowhere on that website does it mention any of that. So either they didn't have the page ready, or they linked to the wrong page, or they shouldn't have gone live with the announcement at that point in time. But I've put GG because it is a good step. Yes, it's only £40,000. I mean, I'm going to rewind and backtrack a little bit. That exposure is vital for people trying to make it, particularly in the content creation scene, not so much in an esports scene, because, yeah, you get exposure, but if you're shit, you're not going to make it anyway.
Yeah.
But, like, figure FaZe Tex, who was DH Tex, then F2 Tex, and now FaZe Tex. Because of the exposure that he's got, he has landed deals. So exposure is valuable. However, exposure doesn't pay the bills. Exposure allows you to potentially pay the bills going forward. You can't go to the bank or to a shop or a supermarket and go, I'm going to get this and I will potentially pay you later on. It doesn't work like that.
I'll tweet about it and give you some exposure, but that's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, all right, influencer, calm down. So, yeah, I mean, everyone in the world is happy to laugh at influencers when they ask for a free hotel or whatever. And it's like, just because you're an influencer, don't think you can get everything for free. It's like, yeah, but the world expects that from influencers and content creators as well. Yeah, I know you make videos on YouTube, but I don't want to pay you for your time. So do you fancy just playing this game and we'll give it you for free? It's like, mate, I've got 1,000,001 other games that I can play. No, you're all right, jog on.
A lot of money.
Yeah,
you can buy all these games.
But even if you didn't have the money, the fact is that they last year didn't want to pay people and didn't pay people. This year they are revisiting that. £40,000 is a tiny prize pool. I mean it's not. If you let me
that's a prize pool.
Yeah,
that's not for the winner.
If you mention the fact it's a pool, that's going to be split across 20 clubs potentially, and then it'll be a prize pool. There'll be a shitload of people competing in qualifiers and pre-qualifiers and online tournaments to secure places to go to the offlines and stuff, and it's going to be only a selection of them at the offlines, so you have to go through a lot, and that's a lot of exposure that the brands are getting. So you're giving the brands exposure, you are working with the brands, and these aren't tiny brands, these are like EA Sports, these are FIFA, these are Manchester United, Liverpool, and tiny clubs like Manchester City, and he's only saying that because he lost to Astana last night. Anyway, so yeah, massive brands with billions of pounds in them. So £40,000 prize pool is quite tiny. Let's come closer. So it's not huge, but it's a step in the right direction. So my GG last night was saying better late than never, because they have recognised that they need money, and because they have put some of that on the table. Yes, it's not a lot. Yes, it's probably not as much as I feel it should be. But it's sustainable in terms of, if that's a budget that they've never had before, dropping an extra £40,000 out of profit is something that they can manage and sustain and see, actually, okay, next year we can maybe do 80,000 in the prize pool and 200,000 the year after maybe, or whatever. But they deleted it, so maybe they just thought, fuck!
Yeah, I don't know where this is going to go. Realistically now, because they've put it out there, they kind of need to honour it. But we'll see. We will see. However, I've just seen something pretty tasty. It's got nothing to do with video games, but Freddie Ljungberg is going to be the manager for the next 12 weeks.
Interesting.
So they've got Chelsea managed by Frank Lampard, United managed by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Freddie Ljungberg at Arsenal.
We should have like an old school kickabout, an old managers league kind of thing.
Stevie G going to Liverpool, it would be complete then, wouldn't it?
But yeah. Do you know, I'd take that because that could potentially upset everything they've got going on there. Get Klopp out, get Stevie G in.
But yeah, there's no more Black Friday deals that are coming through just yet either.
Sweet. So, yes, anyway, wrapping up on that little bit of news before we wrap up on... Well, we've got one more piece of news, actually. So, yeah, ePremier League, if you play FIFA and you want to be competitive, you can represent clubs and you will be paid. Not necessarily a massive amount of money, but you potentially could be. I mean, they've deleted it. All evidence of it is gone from their perspective.
Unless it's on Graham's phone.
Yes, exactly. So... There's a chance you could be paid for competing in the Premier League, which is the bare minimum of what should be happening. The fact that they've got there is good. It shows progress. It's not far enough, but it's a start. So yeah.
If esports wants to be taken seriously by everyone, not just people who are in the FIFA community, then using something like the Premier League, which is arguably the biggest league in the world. They've got the biggest reach, they have the most money, they have the most eyes globally. then this is the kind of competition that, because Call of Duty, everyone knows about the Call of Duty World Championships. In some parts of the world, the Overwatch World Championships are bigger than the Call of Duty ones, but the whole world plays football. The whole world plays FIFA. This, just do it right. Give everyone their time. Give everyone their money that they're owed to.
Absolutely. Fingers crossed that they progress with that. But you mentioned the Call of Duty World Championships.
I absolutely did. You see what I did there?
Which segues us nicely into this article from VG247, written by... Do you want to take this one, Bib?
I will try. Yes, I'll see if I can get my words out.
Who wrote the article?
I knew you were going to do this. I knew you were going to do it. Sherif Saed. That's right.
That was a massive disappointment. You got that. Sherif
VG247. This has been written by Sherif Saed, and it was written yesterday. This is more of a. Told you I'm going to try. This is more of a PSA than anything. But let's go. You have one last chance to make more progress in Call of Duty's Modern Warfare's officer ranks, thanks to Double XP. Infinity Ward has activated Double XP for both player levels as well as weapon levels in Call of Duty in Modern Warfare. The Double XP event is now live until December 2nd. When is that?
That is the day before
is
my
that Monday?
birthday. Yes.
That's Monday, isn't it?
It's my birthday on Tuesday, and that is December the 2nd, which is not my birthday. That's Monday. My birthday is December the 3rd, which is the Tuesday. Just saying.
Limited Double XP tokens may have to... What? Limited Double XP tokens you may have do not stack with this, so save them for later. Infinity Ward also explained that in a blog post how the new seasonal rankings are going to work. When the season kicks off next week, all player officer ranks will be reset back to the normal level cap. The game will keep a record of how high your officer rank was before the reset. You'll also get to keep any weapon blueprints that you may have unlocked as part of that officer progression. When the new season begins, everyone, assuming that they already hit the normal level cap, will need to grind another 100 ribbons through the new challenges for which the Season 1 ranked. Players who have yet to reach the normal level cap will still find enlisted ranks beyond the cap. Clearing those will get them into the officer rank progression of Season 1. Once again, all your mission progress stats and everything else that you've unlocked will carry over with you into Season 1.
Season 1. That's interesting. I mean, do we have anyone in the chat that's played a good chunk of... Modern Warfare? I mean,
Jack upstairs, as we talked about it this morning, he didn't know that it was double XP, so I was like, stay tuned to the scoop today, we'll be able to talk about that. But he's stoked because he hasn't hit any kind of major level cap yet, so he said he's just going to bash this out all weekend, get that double XP and that.
He's going to bash it out all weekend.
He's going to bash it out all weekend.
And then is he going to play Modern Warfare
style? Yeah.
The reason I ask is, I mean, we did cover it previously, like the way that the season pass is working and the ranking and the officer rank and the season rank thing stuff, but we didn't really understand it at the time because we have no working knowledge of it. So like, obviously levels are reset, but everything you've unlocked you get to keep. Mm-hmm. The only thing I have in mind is the old prestige system. So you get to level 15 or whatever, you unlock the M4. If the levels are reset, obviously I was on my way progressing to unlocking the M4. They're saying you won't lose anything. So say if I get to level 16, I keep my M4. What if I get to level 14? Do I then only have to go at one level? So like, is there a season ranking and then the officer rank, is that the one that unlocks you the weapons and the guns and things like that? And if I get to level 15, if I do 14 levels in season 1 in the pre-season, but then do one level in season 1, is that going to be 15 and get me? Because that's question. The bit I don't know. So if anyone does play in the chat,
I've got a feeling that it's going to be kind of similar to Fortnite. So you have your normal level that goes all the way through to the end, and everything that you unlock you can take with you. I don't know whether or not if you get halfway through a level towards a gun, that's going to continue. I reckon it's a reset. Surely that's the initiative for you to keep on playing and grind until you've hit that, because that's going to be your limit. If you if you're halfway through getting your M4. But then you don't necessarily hit it, surely that's incentive for you to carry on grinding until you get it and then take it with you to the next season. That
is an issue for me, though, in terms of having the Fortnite version to keep you grinding to hit the level is to get a cosmetic item, a skin, or some extra BP or whatever. Whereas if it's a gun, that's a gameplay function. So if that is hidden behind any sort of wall that resets, be it a pay wall or be it a progression wall that then just gets reset. If I had 2 hours a day and I played it and I'm about level 89, but I need to get to level 90. However, I'm off on a business trip now all weekend, and I don't get back till Tuesday, which is my birthday, December 3rd. If I don't get back till Tuesday, I'm then kind of hamstrung. So even though there's incentive for me to play on, there's real life restrictions for it. So because of that, I can't get to level 90 to unlock it.
Yeah.
I stick at level 89, so that means unlucky. You have to crack through 90 levels next season, which obviously, as a guy invested in a game, I'd probably want to do that anyway. But it's a bit shit that we get to a point where it's like, oh, I'm sorry, mate, you only got to 89 and you had real world commitments. So yeah, anything that you did towards that, you've lost and you've got to start again. I mean, it's fine enough in a season battle pass element where these are the items within a specific time frame, but if it's the functions of unlocking the new guns or the RPGs or the 3 frag grenades instead of 1 kind of thing.
What about if these was open for 60 days, or do you not think that's enough time for people to be able to grind to something that they actually want?
That's one of those how long's a piece of string statements.
Yeah.
Yes, if you've got 60 days worth of time to use. But no,
you managed to complete yours.
What?
Your 100 level on PUBG, didn't you?
I do it every season. I'm currently at like level 52 out of 100.
And currently that's playing at 1 hour a day-ish to just complete your daily, isn't it?
A couple of hours-ish, yeah. I'm well on track to hit mine. But even still, a couple of hours a day, sometimes 3 hours a day, collect stream points, by the way, like sometimes a few hours a day is enough to finish it. But even that, not a lot of people have a couple of or a few hours a day.
Yeah.
But that is within.
Are you playing for the season pass then?
Pretty much, which is part of the reason for it. So I am playing for the season pass. I'm playing for the enjoyment, but
no, I mean those people who don't have, like I don't have that amount of time anymore. It's very rare that I'm able to put more than an hour in during the week. Weekend is my gaming time, more or less. But I wouldn't be probably playing for the season. I'll probably pay for it because I know what I get along the way. I'm going to be able to carry it with me, but I'm not playing to complete a season pass.
The difference is though, the season pass is something that you're opting in for a set time frame that is just cosmetics only. If there was unlock this super powered machine gun in it, and
is that the case?
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
I reckon
that's
it's probably skins for guns. I don't reckon it is the guns. I reckon the gun progression is well away from the season pass, but I reckon it's cosmetics for the gun. That's going to be included in there, as well as skins for your character and Christ knows what else.
Yeah, I think it's probably got to be that way, because I can't see it getting to the point where M4 time. Oh, sorry, servers have gone down, so you can't log on, and we've missed the period anyway now, so you have to start again.
I'm fairly certain as well, as mentioned, there's not going to be any microtransactions in it, but don't quote me on that.
No,
so if that is the case, then I would highly assume that the gun upgrades are away from the season pass stuff.
They mentioned that there'll be a lot of stuff coming for free. They didn't say that there won't be anything coming behind paywalls, though. Which is fine, because I pay for a battle pass, season pass. The battle pass is Fortnite, the season pass PUBG. I don't pay for Fortnite, but I pay for the PUBG one, and it's fine. It does keep me playing, and it is a little bit of an annoyance in the fact that I feel like I have to go on sometimes to get my dailies done, to keep my points to grind towards the next thing. But that's the whole part of the mentality. It keeps me coming back into it, even when the game's a bit duff at times. I mean, last 24, 48 hours, I've not had the worst games, being honest. And there was a patch on Tuesday, so maybe they've fixed it a little bit or something. Or maybe it was just luck. If I'd have been fecked off by the last patch, then I probably wouldn't have been playing last night and the night before, so I wouldn't have known that it's been playing a lot better the last 2 years. So it swings and roundabouts. But anyway, we don't really know. We don't have the knowledge, and I don't think anyone's mentioned it in the chat, but if anyone does have the answer to that question of how things unlock in Modern Warfare, then please let us know. We'll jump back through, though, and see Arsenal and United with Solskjaer and Lundberg. What the fuck, says Ninja Bachelor Party. Chelsea with Lampard too. Oh, we've covered those. Can we get that Vinyl guy as a guest on the scoop? Oh, fuck yeah, Lionel Vinyl. Damn straight you can. Do you know what? You should Google it. They'll probably find videos of him. It's the most cheesy cliche thing ever, but when you're half-cut at a Christmas party, it's not bad. It's a bit of fun.
Oh, it's gone already. The Xbox One that we mentioned before that we dropped in chat is now expired.
Well, Craig did give his in-depth review of that Xbox One X. So Xbox One S. So obviously we showed a little bit earlier on the Xbox One S with Sea of Thieves, Minecraft, Forza Horizon 3, all for less than £100. Craig gave quite an in-depth review, and he let me read it out in full. Sit yourselves down. This is going to take a while. He says, "Bargain." So yeah.
And you can quote him on that.
I didn't think he was a thing outside of Blackpool/Preston. Yeah, he made it to the AO.com Christmas party. So, you know, big things. Big things, Lionel Vinyl. We've made it, son.
I'm just going through other stuff. Resident Evil 2 Remake is on PC for £10.
I was going to say, I thought it was on PC anyway.
Yeah, for £10. I can't see anything else that's standing out just yet.
If you guys do find any good bargains, though, please feel free to let us know. If you want to type exclamation mark, do you know what? I'll do it for you. Exclamation mark, socials. I can't chat inside the Ice Cream Plus chat because I need to adhere to the chat rules. That's quite funny. There we go. Exclamation mark socials in the chat. There's all the links. If you find any Black Friday deals, please let us know across all of social media. Ideally Twitter, because that's where we're most active. So it's at Ice Cream Plus on Twitter. Let us know and we will share them with the rest of the community too. Resident Evil comes with a free pack of adult nappies. It's all right. Bibby is fully invested in those. I have seen his drawers in the office, literally, as well.
Also, if anyone sees any PlayStation Classic stuff, let me know because I am in the market for one.
One thing I will say, though, is if anyone has any smart home devices and you're after some smart home lighting, there will be some pretty sexy Philips Hue offers over the next few days, particularly Cyber Monday. That's all I'm going to say is just keep your eyes out. Full disclosure, we may be working with Philips Hue. So yes, there you go. You heard it here first. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for Friday's edition of The Scoop. We are done for another week of Scoop. Let's go front cam. Hey. So we are done for another week of The Scoop. As mentioned at the very start of the show and in the middle of it, I am Graham Day, and this man at the side of me is the Bibberino, Booby, Bibby! At Graham_Day and at We've Got Bibino on Twitter. If you want to drop us a follow, at Ice Cream Uploads is the channel social. Obviously, we are done for The Scoop for this week. We will be back at 10 a.m. on Monday. One thing, though, we may have a really rough-looking stream. Yeah. The reason for that is, as you can see here, we have quite a big space. We've got uplighting studio, we've got TVs on the back wall, we have a presentation desk with TVs mounted on it. There's a lot that goes on. There is also, as you can see, just down on Bibby's side of the screen down there, a lot of wires, and we are doing some housekeeping to make sure it all looks pretty sexy, and that's to give us a little bit more flexibility for things going forward too. We want to make it so that we can move things around, add new things to the setup, so we can give you new content, new shows, and anything else that just comes to mind. We want to be able to use the big, massive green screen that you can't see off screen. All of that stuff, excuse me, when you're in an environment as complex as this, it starts to get a little bit weighted to move things around. So we're trimming it down, making things a little bit more streamlined so that we can deliver fresh content. So there will be a show on Monday. Exactly where that is, how that looks, we will have to see. I mean, it may just be that we do phone stream, Scoop phone stream, jobby.
We're going to be sat in our cars, aren't we?
Yeah, potentially. But if we are doing it on the phones, the one thing that does give us is the opportunity to walk you around the studio and show you what it looks like. So maybe some behind-the-scenes Scoopy action. If you are on the audio services, then you just have to kind of visualise it. That's what it is. But that is kind of... Oh, one thing to mention, actually. Let me just jump to this camera. Hi there. Hi. So you are looking at us from this little camera just here. And I said this little camera, I'm going to jump back to the other camera. Just doing this so you can see how nice it is. It's a decent camera, does the job, does very good. Whereas if I jump back up there, you can see we have just here, we have a Logitech. Is it a C920?
It most certainly is.
So it's a Logitech C920. I always think C902, but that's a Sony Ericsson smartphone. Anyway, the different conversation. The Logitech C920 webcam there. Pirate has just mentioned in the chat that has just been reduced, and I saw that yesterday. So $24.99, usually around 50, 60, 70 pounds. I think $54.99 usually for the Amazon version, but $24.99. So if you are streaming and you want to add a little bit of cam to your setup, then that's good. Go. If you just want a second side cam, $24.99. Bargain, and that'll be delivered Amazon Prime, I'm guessing too. So make sure you check that out if you want a camera. Good to see you, lad, says Ninja Bachelor Party, and lots of GG whoopies in the chat. Thank you very much, guys. Like I said, we will be back with the Scoop Monday 10 a.m. all week next week. I won't be there on Tuesday because it's my birthday, but just saying. And before then, we will have some additional content. Bibby will be playing Destiny.
Yes, tonight.
You are my destiny.
Potentially on Sunday as well, but the only way that you can find out is by following Ice Cream Uploads or myself.
There we go. I'm not even going to apologise for singing over your outro there. Thank you very much. But anything else that you'd like to add? You are my...
No, I don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, have yourselves a lovely weekend. And from everyone here at The Scoop on Ice Cream Uploads, stay frosty.